Welcome to Road Trips in Hastings County. I'm sure we all enjoy getting out into the open countryside, the fresh air, getting out of the house for a while. And with this in mind, the Hastings County Historical Society has put together a number of road trips, exploring the back roads and beautiful countryside of Hastings County while stopping at a number of historical plaques where you can read the stories of the early days of our county. To make this possible, the Historical Society has developed a new website which you can find at hastingshistoricalplaques.ca. And in this website we have information on over 100 historical plaques all across Hastings County, telling the early stories of the pioneer days in this area. Using these itineraries, you can combine a very pleasant day in the country with a chance to learn something about the early days of this area. Now today we are on an itinerary which is very close actually to the city of Belleville and the city of Quinte West. And in this itinerary you could visit the Stone Church, which was an amazing and very early cobblestone church, very rare in this area. Also there is a historical plaque to honor the Reverend Asa Turner, who was a pioneer Baptist minister in this region. But right now we are in the very beautiful, very pretty village of Wallbridge, which has a number of historical plaques telling of its early days. And with that, we welcome author and historian Orland French, who will tell us some of the stories of the early days of the village of Wallbridge.
Hello, welcome to Wallbridge. If you're the kind of person who likes to pick fights with City Hall, this was the place to be in 1790. In fact, in Ontario, it was the only place to be in 1790 to pick fights with City Hall, because this area, this town, was the first municipal government in Ontario. Actually, it wasn't even Ontario, it was still Quebec at that point, and these people were a long way from Quebec City and they got tired of writing letters back and forth, so they formed their own council in Sidney Township. A year later, the British government divided the province of Quebec into Upper Canada and Lower Canada, and this became part of Upper Canada. Later on, Canada West, later on, Ontario. But it is still the first and oldest municipal government in Ontario. At first, there was no town hall. In fact, they didn't build a town hall until 1850, so they met in buildings wherever there was space, people's living rooms, taverns, churches, schools, wherever they could find space to have a meeting. And many of the meetings were held on properties owned by the family of Ketchison, which was quite prominent then. And the town wasn't called Wallbridge, it was called Sidney, as it was the center of Sidney Township. Later on, when the town got its own post office, it was named Wallbridge, after a prominent local family. This council not only looked after Sidney Township, it also passed motions affecting Rawdon and Thurlow Townships, which were nearby but did not have a council until later on. While the village may seem tucked away among the hills, it actually straddles a First Nation pathway from Frankfort to Potter's Creek in Belleville. For many decades, the village was the heart and hub of Sidney Township. And a lot of the events that happened here are recorded in this parquet in the village. A lot of plaques in here. It's a plaque reader's paradise. There are tributes here to the town hall, to military organizations, to the bed spring factory, to the cheese and butter organization that developed a pretty large market in England. But as other communities around developed even faster, these functions drifted away to places like Trenton and Belleville and Stirling and other places. And so the village sort of fell into a bit of a slump until it was recognized as a very pleasant place to live and has been revived now as a community bedroom area. And a lot of the old historic buildings that are here have been restored by people who are living in them and using them. So it's quite an attractive historic site as well as a heritage center. You'll find it on County Road 5 north of Trenton. So see you on the road.